How you doing, and welcome to Neither Real Music. I'm Ed, and this is Just Play It, my series dedicated to pieces of music I'm working on and arrangements that I've created for you to try to practice and learn. Today we're going to take a look at My Way. This song was made famous by Frank Sinatra, and it is written by a couple of different people. Jacques Revaux, Claude François, Paul Anka, and Gilles Thibaut. Apologies if I've mispronounced any one of those names. Before we get started, please take a moment and ring the bell so that you know when your next lesson is coming, and also subscribe so this way you can follow along with how these lessons are going. We are going to be looking at the first 8 measures of this song, which will bring us through 2 phrases in this piece of music. You can follow along as I give you the basic ideas and tab, and then at the end of the lesson we will have a couple of opportunities to practice these first couple of sections, and then each week I'm going to try to add a little bit more. Let's take a look at these first 8 measures of My Way. So to get started, we're going to use what looks like the other part of a G bar chord, but we're going to be using these 3 fingers. So it kind of looks like an E major, but done here on your 4th fret. We're going to start by striking this note D and then strumming the rest of those 3 notes. Now we're going to do that again, but a little bit faster. And then reach out with our pinky for the note A on our 7th fret. Now your picking could be all downstrokes, it could be down and up. At the speed that I'm playing the song, you really don't need to worry about any of that stuff. So from here, we're going to take our note G and we're going to make it an F sharp, turning this idea into a major 7. And we're basically going to repeat the exact same thing we did, but with this chord. So if we put those first 2 ideas together, we have and now we're going to move this note F sharp down 1 more to what would be the equivalent of a G7 chord, and basically repeat the beginning part again. Now here's where things are going to change. Instead of hitting the note D, we're going to go A, chord, back to A. So. Let's put those 3 pieces of this puzzle together. So, basic major chord, G major, G major 7, G7, now what we're going to do is take where our pinky is and all on our 7th fret, stack these fingers together and strum them. And we're going to lift our pinky to go from A to A flat or G sharp, whatever you want to call it. So the reason we're doing this is to get our lower notes to continually ring while we're playing these other parts. When you do an arrangement like this, the goal is to have some of your notes move as a melody and some of your notes stay ringing as a harmony. This way, as a guitar player, it sounds like more than one instrument is going on. So those couple of pieces are all of our first phrase. So if I play them together without any time, they're going to sound like this. before we move on to our next phrase, I'm going to count you in so that you could play it with a little bit of time. And then what I'm going to do is give you a tab so that you could follow along with. So let's try this with a little bit of time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now let's try that again with tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's okay to start by practicing this without any time. But if you were going to play it along with another group of people, making sure that you have a basic idea of how to play it with time will make it so much easier for you to put everything together and move forward. Basically, by making it a little bit more restrictive, you actually give yourself more freedom to do more things because you realize there's time in between some of the things that you're doing. Now let's take a look at our second phrase. Our second phrase picks up right from where our pinky was at the end of our first phrase. And what we're going to be doing is building this off of what looks like an A minor chord. So we're going to take these two notes and we're going to put this one here on C on our 5th fret. So we have our notes E and A on our 7th fret and C on our 5th fret. And this sounds very similar rhythmically to the phrase beforehand. So we have our note E, and we're going to do the same idea where we strum it, and then we're going to reach back for the note B, and now we're going to take our note A and move it to an A flat or G sharp. Just like we did in the first group, and we're going to repeat the idea, and now we're going to use this as a bar where our G sharp went to G. Let's take a look at those three again. So what looks like A minor, diminished, A minor 7. Okay, so from here we have to move. Now what I like to do is I keep this as a bar and I move back to here where I am barring my 3rd fret because really all I need is the note D. I would like F sharp, C, and D, which is a D7 chord, stopping on our note D. And then I slide back to get 2 A's. So when we look at that, we have so if we assemble this together, we have this idea so far. Now for here, we're going to build what looks like the top of a 9 chord, like a D9. So it's the notes D, F sharp, and C. And then we're going to lift our finger up for C to go to B with this little bar. Okay? If we assemble this all together, it should sound like this. Now remember, remember, practicing this idea with free time is fine for right now. What we're going to do is the same thing we did with our first phrase and try to practice it with a little bit of time and a tab. So I'll count you in. You can follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One more time with tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That last part, this section right here, the D chord, is probably the most challenging part you're going to face in these first two phrases. So I highly recommend practicing going over and over again. This way, when you come from this last chord, you can get through at the right pace of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. The timing for that is really distinct. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. So there's a lot of movement in a very small amount of time. Once you've gotten the right idea down and you feel that you're comfortable with these two phrases separately, now what we need to do is try to put them together. Here's what this idea sounds like with free time. Some people like the idea of playing it free time because it sounds more like Frank Sinatra sang it. He wasn't so strict with the timing that he needed to have a metronome. Really, the orchestra followed his vocal work more than him following the orchestra's timing. But as I said prior, practicing with the metronome means that you end up with a better feel for how the song should work, and you realize where you can steal time and add time to other sections in order to make the song flow and feel natural and feel smooth. So once again, let's try this with a little bit of time and a tab, and then we'll wrap it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now let's try that with a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Remember to take your time, practice each thing individually, and try not to rush through the idea. Very easy to try to just put everything together and play it and sing along with it without time and think that you really have something that sounds very attractive. It's better to get things right and slowly get your metronome working and make it so that your playing is very consistent. Then try to experiment. I really hope lessons like this are helping you become a better player and you enjoy playing songs like this. If so, remember to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Please feel free to visit my Patreon page. A donation of $1 even once could help me find time to make more content to create more for you guys to learn from. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Compliments are nice, but questions let me know that you're working on these things. Good luck and good practice.